30 minutes or so, we are going to be tackling matters cyberbullying. And on set, I'm joined by Jimmie Gait, who is an artist. Thank you so much, Jimmie, for coming on board. Of course, we have an expansive topic about this to discuss pertaining technology, its effects, and the ramifications that are normally experienced afterwards. Good morning, first of all, to you. We thank you so much for coming, and you will give us an expertise or from a perspective of being also a victim at some point, and how we can tackle that in the contemporary society where we can't do without social media. Of course, it's important in terms of making sure that we do undertake our activities. Morning to you again, and take us through cyberbullying and to your definition. What is it?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate. I think this is a crucial topic that we need to look deeper into, because it's an issue that is affecting a lot of people. First of all, cyberbullying is harassment online or in any digital platform. It could be SMS, WhatsApp, Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, all these social media platforms that are available. It's when somebody defames you, gives fake news, talks mean words around you, or around your brand, or around your image. All these add up to anything that is said or portrayed about you online that is hurtful, that does not represent who you are, or that does not represent your feelings about something. It's usually a misconception of you. And it has different forms. Sometimes it can be threats. Some people can threaten you online. Some people can attack your personality. Some people can attack your business. Some people can attack your talent. So it has different forms, but in a nutshell, it's basically things said around you that are not a representation of you.
And of course, having mentioned that there are different ways in which people do respond to that, but the larger population or the larger segment of social media users are subjected to psychological torture in some way. And this is a common practice or common outcome that we did expect with the advent of technology and the coming on board of social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and others. The list is so long. But how do we need to devise that particular response in terms of ensuring that what's made of you, or what is the information conveyed about you, in which in some sense amounts to character assassination or the character of your business, or maybe on individual capacity, what sort of response is required legally and also at a personal level?
Very good question. There are different ways of looking at it. One is when people say things about you or your brand. First response could be going quiet. That could be an option you can take. Going quiet, not responding. Another option could be you responding and clarifying what exactly you meant by whatever you posted. And once you do that, don't go ahead and engage in conversations. Usually it's good when you make a clarification of what you meant. You leave it at that, because you can't convince everybody on what you meant. Another response is where if it's really gross, you can even report the case to the police. Like, for instance, you can be threatened to be killed or to be assassinated, or probably some dangerous things around you. Those are escalatable matters to the authorities. Sometimes a case could go legal. You can take a legal route. At least now we have a cybercrime bill in
which
place.
attracts about 10 years in prison.
Yes. Although some of the clauses have been suspended for a while, but at least there are some laws around cyberbullying and cybercrime, and can be taken up by a lawyer. So it depends on what exactly it is. There are simple matters, like, for instance, someone can just attack you because they don't like how you look, or they don't like how you're dressed. Those are matters that sometimes can affect people. However, how to respond to that is just to go quiet, because I mean, right now, not everybody likes how you're dressed or
Yeah.
how I'm dressed. But there are people who like how you look. So you can't really please everybody. And you see, you don't have a control over what people can have an opinion around what you do or around you. So also it's about a mind shift on how you deal with these things. However, sometimes we can escalate or provoke people to talk around us by the things we do. For instance, you can post a nude photo. I mean, people are definitely going to talk about it. We've seen even celebrities who've done crazy things. Human beings are provoked by different things. So if you do something crazy, you're going to provoke crazy comments and opinions. So also it's a responsibility on everybody to think about what they're posting. I mean, you have to be responsible, or you have to know that for every post you do, there's a consequence around it. So it's also us to be responsible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, of course, responsibility does come with what we post, what we tweet, what we put up, on our social media platforms. But before I come to you taking us through via the experience that you had with the cyberbullying, let me just pick up from where you have left. In terms of, considering that Kenya is a secular state, and in a liberal society, you have the right to be offended and the right not to be offended, because Kenya isn't a theocracy. It's led by a constitution. It's a constitutional democracy.
Correct.
But then again, there is the freedom of speech. So how do we look into that? Because looking at it from a perspective of what person has posted, or an opinion by person on an individual level about probably a program, how you wore your clothing, or how you looked like, it doesn't matter. But however, what do we need to consider so that we cannot breach that level of freedom? And where do we draw the line in terms of that freedom not breaching the particular red line, in ensuring that it does not affect the the normal it doesn't affect the normal thinking behind the freedom of speech, and not ensuring that we do not breach that particular constitutional clause that calls for the freedom of speech? So where do we draw the line?
You see, your freedom stops where mine begins, and my freedom stops or begins where yours stops. You can't say it's freedom of speech, and yet you are indulging into my privacy or indulging into my rights. You have to be thoughtful of other people. You have to understand that you're not the only person in the universe that exists. So you just can't do whatever you want to do. You can't say whatever you want to say. You have to be responsible. And that's why there are consequences into whatever you do. So if you are going to talk about something, about someone, or about a brand, or about an institution, you need to first of all have the facts right of what you're posting. For instance, you can be involved in a scandal, or it can be fake news. People just post things without getting the facts around what they are posting. If you ask them, for instance, are you sure about what you're saying? Where did you get that information from? They wouldn't tell you. They would tell you, oh, I saw it on the internet, and so I was just clicking and sharing, So it comes to responsibility. We must be responsible for what we share, because if you're talking about having freedom of speech, your freedom does not mean hurting others. Your freedom doesn't guarantee you or give you the authority to say whatever you want to say without thinking about others. And this is a simple rule. What you wouldn't want others to do unto you, don't do unto them.
Okay.